With all the snow expected today, why Davenport is not declaring the snow emergency. And the Justice Department has until today to provide lawmakers with evidence supporting President Trump's wiretapping claims.
WHBF is local for you. This is Local 4 News this morning.
Good morning and thanks for watching Local 4 News this morning. I'm Emily Scarlett. First, winter has officially returned and that means you'll need to take it slow out there this morning. Meteorologist Anthony Peoples is here with the latest. Anthony, just how much snow are we expecting?
We're expecting anywhere from 3 to 7 inches of snow. Some of our far southern hometowns may get in at around 3 or 4 inches. Here in the Quad Cities, we're expecting anywhere from 4 to 7 inches in northern hometowns too. We already had 3.5 inches of snow to accumulate around Geneseo, and I am awaiting the official totals to come in for the Quad Cities. Now, through midnight, we were close to 2 inches, but several more inches have accumulated since then. We do have a winter weather advisory in effect through 7 o'clock tonight. Let's take you on a couple of radar stops just to show you where the heavy snow is falling. Now, where you see the light blue on this pinpoint Doppler, that's where light snow is falling. The darker the blue, the heavier the snow, and the heaviest of the snow is where you're seeing the whites. And right now, that's around the Quad Cities area, and this extends down to around Orion and Geneseo, all the way down to Woodhull, Watauga, and Galesburg, over toward Galva and Kewanee. Yeah, look off to the west. Notice that we're starting to see a little bit of a break around Mediapolis and Wapello, but the snow is starting to fill back in again, so we're not done with it even across southeastern Iowa. So once again, 3 to 7 inches across the area. We'll have much more and some more snow totals coming up in our full forecast.
Well, for those of you wanting snow, here it is. Now let's head outside. That's where we'll find our very own James Sears. He's live in downtown Rock Island. How are things looking out there so far, James?
Well, Emily, as you can see, it's snowing out here. We're getting our first significant snowfall in a while. This is what it looks outside here along the Mississippi River. You can see the Centennial Bridge in the background. Traffic is moving out here. As Anthony was saying, we're going to get up to 7 inches of snow here, so more is still on the way. It looks like there's a couple inches on the ground right now. The biggest issue we're faced with right now is the slick roads. You can see cars driving past us here along River Road here. Crews are out. We did see some snow plows out clearing the snow, salting the streets. Snow from overnight and this morning, making it hard for drivers to head to work today. So in case you forgot, take it easy out there. Give yourself extra room while driving, extra time when you head out on the road. Some good news, though. Some Quad Cities schools are on spring break, so that is sure to help keep some cars off the road. Now, here's something interesting. Despite all the snow we're expecting, Davenport says it will not declare a snow emergency. A city spokesperson says it's not doing it because of warmer weather and melting expected later this week. Now, parking on snow routes will not be prohibited, but they do encourage people to not park on the street. They say it'll help crews clear the roads. Public Works is letting drivers park on the ramps for free until 8 o'clock this morning, so good news if you were able to get in there last night. Now, however, the city of Clinton has declared a snow emergency going on now until all streets are clear, and you must move your car by 7 o'clock tonight or it could be ticketed or towed. Now, as for the airports, there are some cancellations. I saw United and American had cancellations this morning to and from Chicago. With snow over our area, over Illinois and Iowa, the cancellations are expected through early this afternoon. So it goes without saying, check your flight status before heading out to the airport. We're live here in Rock Island. James Sears, Local 4 News this morning.
Thanks for that, James. Now, we haven't seen any yet, but of course, conditions outside could also mean some school closings and delays. Now, keep in mind, some schools are on spring break this week, but for those of you with class still in session, be sure to head over to our website, ourquadcities.com, for the latest school closures and delays. And we're not the only ones getting hit. This powerful late season nor'easter is affecting areas stretching from D.C. to Boston, and some will be preparing for blizzard conditions through Wednesday. Heavy snow and strong winds are expected in the Mid-Atlantic and New England states, creating dangerous travel and power outages. Hundreds of flights have already been canceled. The House Intelligence Committee has asked the Justice Department to turn over any evidence supporting President Trump's wiretapping claims by today. Hannah Daniels has the latest from New York.
Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are calling for President Trump to prove claims that the Obama administration tapped Trump Tower phones during the 2016 campaign.
The president has one of two choices, either retract or to provide the information that the American people deserve.
The ranking Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee says there is no evidence to support the president's allegations.
Either the president quite deliberately, for some reason, made up this charge, or perhaps more disturbing, the president really believes this.
Democrats are also hoping to get answers on how much the Republican plan to replace Obamacare will cost when the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office releases its report on the legislation as early as today.
Trump was the guy who said to the American people when he ran for president, oh, don't worry, we got a terrific idea. We're going to provide health care to all people. Well, this is far from it. This is throwing 5 to 10 million people off of the health insurance they currently have.
On Face the Nation Sunday, House Speaker Paul Ryan defended the GOP health care plan.
Obamacare is collapsing. If we just did nothing, washed our hands of the situation, we would see a further collapse of the health insurance markets.
Some House conservatives say the Trump-backed bill does not go far enough, vowing to block what they call Obamacare Light. Anna Daniels, CBS News.
Details from the Congressional Budget Report is expected to give estimates of how many people will be covered under the Republican plan, but the Trump administration is already dismissing that report. Meanwhile, Congressman Dave Loebsack will meet with hospital staff members in Bettendorf today to discuss possible changes with the Affordable Care Act and what that means for them. Congressman Loebsack will stop by a meeting of the QC Mental Health Coalition around 3 o'clock today to meet with staff and administrators to discuss legislation that impacts hospitals, specifically what any changes to Obamacare will mean for Unity Point Trinity. Also happening today, Rock Island City Council will discuss a number of items during their meeting tonight. That includes the addition of a new Urban Farms grocery store. Plus, they'll discuss changing the speed limit near Augustana College to 20 miles per hour. Tonight's meeting starts at 6:45 in council chambers. Police in Haiti are searching for the driver of a bus that plowed into a festival crowd, killing at least 38 people. That happened in the capital, Port-au-Prince. Police say the driver was fleeing from an earlier accident when he drove into the crowd and then fled. The bus, owned by the transportation company Blue Sky Logistics, encountered streets crowded with people celebrating a popular festival in Haiti that stretches from Mardi Gras until Easter Sunday. The driver fled the scene on foot and is still at large. Nowadays, it seems almost impossible to get a higher education without a ton of student loans, but are students using that money responsibly? As Sharon Coe reports, you may be surprised to hear exactly where that money is going.
I'm a public health major.
UTSA senior Destiny Albert is smart with her money.
I actually have a credit card and I work. So, I mean, if I need to pull money from other places, I have those resources.
And her student loans, that's strictly for school.
Just for classes and books.
But that's not the case for many of her peers. According to Lend.edu, a company helping students with their finances, more than 2 million students are tapping into their student loans to pay for spring break vacations. The poll also found students are using loans to pay for alcohol, clothes, dining out, drugs, and gambling. Lend.edu says the average college student graduates with more than $28,000 in loans, and it's an amount Destiny says should be top of mind for all students.
You're here for school. That's your number one priority. So, I mean, as long as you make sure that's squared away, maybe you could go ahead and get that TV, but just don't go all out.
And the IRS is reporting that Americans are taking their time filing tax returns this year. With the April 18th tax deadline looming, the agency says that it's received nearly 6 million fewer individual returns than this time last year. And the deadline is actually later this year because April 15th falls on Saturday. Taxpayers also have an additional day to file because Monday, April 17th is Emancipation Day, which is a DC holiday. And now checking in with meteorologist Anthony Peoples. Of course, all we're talking about is the snow. I do want to go back to that story about student loans. So hard for me to believe that it's being spent on spring break and alcohol and all these other things outside of school and books.
Yeah, you know, we hear all of these stories about the changes they want to make sure education is affordable and help the students out. But you know, I have to admit, even though I paid all of my student loans back, it wasn't spent on spring break or alcohol, but I did spend it on other things. I paid for my room and board and education and everything, but I did use a little bit more of that money too for other things.
I had a similar situation, but no spring break, no alcohol. Speaking of school, some students are getting a break because of spring break and also because of the snow.
That's right. Let's go over some quick school closings for you, and these are found on our website, ourquadcities.com. We'll show you how it looks outside behind me while I tell you about these. Andrews schools are closed today. Central DeWitt Community Schools, East Moline Christian, Easton Valley, Galesburg, number 205, and United High School in Monmouth is closed. Now there's a 2-hour delay at Northeast Schools. So you can find those on our website, and during the commercial break, we'll be putting them up on the bottom of your screen too. Here's the view outside with the snow falling across the area. 29 in Moline, east-northeast winds at 14, and 27 in Davenport right now, east winds at 13. Visibility down to a mile in the Quad Cities, but notice over around Fairfield, visibility now up to 8 miles. The lower the visibilities, the heavier the snow and the little bit of fog. Let's show you where the heaviest of the snow is falling. Here's that little bit of a break taking place, just some scattered flurries and light snow over southeastern Iowa, but where you see the whites on our pinpoint Doppler from around Galesburg and Monmouth up toward Galva and Kewanee and just around the Quad Cities and Prophetstown and Geneseo, moderate to heavy snow is falling at this time. Here's the last 6 hours. You can see that snow moving into the area, and notice this little area getting the break over southeastern Iowa. It's starting to fill back in too. So when all is said and done, snow will continue this morning and start to diminish as we go through the day today, but we will see a total of 3 to 7 inches of snow across the area, and hopefully soon we'll be getting more and more snow reports in. We have about 3.5 inches on the ground around Geneseo, and I'm waiting the official totals for Moline and Davenport, but a winter weather advisory in effect until 7 o'clock tonight.
Mid-March, and we're seeing snow, and not just a little bit of snow, but several inches.
Yeah, this is going to probably be the second biggest snowfall of the season, and it's really hard to believe when you consider that we had 6 consecutive days in February of record high temperatures, 69 to 74 degrees.
This has been quite the winter, Anthony.
It has been crazy.
All right, well, coming up, an event coming up at South Park Mall is helping to promote small businesses. Our live guest has more after the break.
Stay with us. You're watching Local 4 News this morning. The time is 6:12.
WHBF is local for you with James Sears, Emily Scarlett, and meteorologist Anthony Peoples. This is Local 4 News this morning in high definition.